The next morning, Henry Laxton was to be found in his study, looking tired and anxious. He'd been out half the night searching for Jan, and now washed and shaved, he was staring out of the window and drinking his black coffee. Vane, the valet, who had also been out looking, brought in a bundle tied up with string. "Any news?" "I have just retrieved this, sir," he said, unrolling Jan's coat. "Dear God. Don't tell me you found that lying in the gutter." "No, sir, in a pawn shop. It appears that young Master Margosa managed to get a fair sum for it this morning." Henry Laxton laughed out loud with relief. Then at least the boy hasn't been robbed or knifed or worse. Do you know where he is?" "This, sir, is the address he gave the pawnbroker. Maiden Lane." Henry Laxton arrived at the house to find Mr. Trippin sitting on an upturned crate. A fire was blazing away, and the room had a pleasing aroma of hot buttered toast. Mr. Trippin was flabbergasted to see such a fine gentleman standing in the doorway, and regretted much that he hadn't, as planned, got dressed, but was still to be found in his battered housecoat and cap. "You find me at a disadvantage, sir," he said, bowing. Mr. Laxton handed him his card, and Mr. Trippin read it with interest. The word banker danced before him. "I believe that you have a young man staying with you who goes by the name of Jan Margosa." "I have that privilege, sir." "I take it, then, he is not here?" "No, sir, he has taken the young Trippins out for the benefits of fresh air, and—" Mr. Laxton interrupted him. "The young man is in my charge." "Of course, sir. I am in no way kidnapping him, I can assure you of that. By Jupiter, sir, he saved my life. A brave one is that boy, sir. A young Hamlet, indeed, a Henry V on the battlefield of Azenkure." With many theatrical gestures, Mr. Trippin related what had happened in Covent Garden. Henry Laxton found himself warming to the actor, and an idea came to him. "I wonder, sir, if I might confide in you." "By all means. Discretion is my second name." Mr. Laxton told the actor as much as he thought he needed to know about Jan. "He was placed in my care. I found him a tutor, a Mr. Rose, who, unknown to me, saw fit to try and beat the spirit out of him." "A rose by any other name would smell as sweet, I should think his petals were sent flying." "Knocked out cold," said Mr. Laxton, smiling at the memory. Mr. Trippin clapped his hands with delight. "In my humble experience, the cane only teaches the child to loathe the tutor, despise the lesson, and scorn all the benefits that education might bring." "I entirely agree," said Mr. Laxton. "Tell me, how would you go about teaching such a boy as Jan?" "I would never keep him tied to a desk. No, I would show him London, take him to galleries, the theatre, fire his imagination, and then, when at court, I would tell him about the magic of books. Never let him become bored, sir." Mr. Laxton listened while taking in the lack of any furniture. "Have you just moved here, or are you in the process of leaving?" asked Mr. Laxton. "Neither, sir," said Mr. Trippin. "I am between tides, so to speak. I was recently given the opportunity to be a full-time tutor. I turned it down, believing the stage to be my one and only true calling. A foolish moment. Now, alas, death's dagger hangs over me." "I have a proposition to put to you," said Mr. Laxton. "Sir," said Mr. Trippin, sitting bolt upright, "I am all ears."